Welcome everybody. I'm glad to have with me Antonio Bell. We are here at Oconee Fall Line Technical College, I think, where I spend about half my life, Antonio. So many good things are going on out here. First of all, tell me why you picked Oconee Fall Line.
The reason I picked Oconee Fall Line was because of the affordable tuition, the student to teacher ratio, and just the camaraderie that the instructors have with the students. I mean, upon me leaving the military, I was offered to come here to see how it would be for me. And so far, I've been here 4 years, and it's been nothing but good times and good people and great things.
Yeah, and the instructors are great.
Yes, sir.
I mean, they have a vested interest in your success.
Yes, sir.
Not only in the classroom, but when you leave here and go into whatever field you're going to go in.
Yes, sir.
So you served in the military, the U.S. Army.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's exciting. And you have traveled all over the world, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
I've been to different places such as Texas, Virginia. I've been to Egypt. I've been to California. I've been to Kansas. I've been to Louisiana. And that's probably a little bit of where I've been at.
Where'd you go to high school?
I attended Dublin High School, class of 2010.
2010.
Yes, sir.
Think about that. You've done more in 10, 11 years than some people do in a whole lifetime.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about Rotaract. You're in the Rotaract.
Yes, sir.
And y'all know, you've watched us here on TV. For many years, we went out. Matter of fact, Janet was telling me we've given out close to 4,000 of these books, Gifted Hands by Dr. Ben Carson. I shouldn't ask you this on the air probably, but have you read this book?
Yes, I have, sir.
Well, good, I'm glad. I usually know what I'm talking about before I ask a question, but that's one I didn't know the answer to. So,
Yes, sir.
But it's a good book.
It's a great book, and it's inspiring. I mean, I got a lot from it when I read it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's about Dr. Ben Carson. I mean, coming up when he was younger, facing the challenges with him and his mother and his brother. Yeah. Dr. Ben Carson not being able to make good grades in school. He joined the ROTC in high school. Mm-hmm. And then he went on to become a neurobrain surgeon.
Yeah.
And he did his first operation on some Siamese twins. So that was pretty much a great
it is, and believe me, I got the book years ago. To grow up like he did in such a poor area, and a lot of people would write young boys like that off. But that shows you, in anybody watching here today, it don't matter what your situation is. It don't matter what decisions you've made. You may have made bad decisions in life and you're paying for it now. But today, literally, is the first day of your life. You can start today and be a Ben Carson. And I'll tell you right now, and I've said this for a long time, and I'm probably 3 times your age, but the military, for a young man or woman who don't really know, don't have a path chart, the military is that place, I believe, because they'll help you get your education. They'll give you strict rules to go by. I just think the military is great, and you're probably going to agree with that, aren't you?
Yes, sir, I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, it was good to me. I mean, it had structure.
Yeah.
That was the main thing I think that I needed in my life was structure. Like being able to be disciplined, to do things that a known person wouldn't be able to do every day. I mean, putting on that uniform every day was, I wouldn't say challenging, but it was definitely among a good task.
And it meant something.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you should be, and you were. You should be proud to put on the uniform of the United States military, the greatest military in the whole world. I mean, that alone, to think about that you say, I'm wearing this uniform.
Yes,
I'm a part of this great military institution. So, so now you're at Oconee Fall Line.
Yes, sir.
And what are you studying?
Right now, I've been attending Oconee Fall Line for the last 4 years. When I first got here, I was in the networking specialist program, and I completed that, and I moved on to the cybersecurity program, and I completed that. So now this semester is my first semester of the business management program. Mm-hmm. So I already have 2 associate degrees in that. So I plan on getting a diploma in business, and I plan on continuing.
Triple major. Basically what that is, you got a triple degree right there, just about. So what I'm hearing is that structure you was talking about a few minutes ago has helped you accomplish these things now.
Yes, because I attended college for like a year before I got in the military, and that didn't go so well. So whenever I finished my military career, I was like, I want to make my mama proud. I want to give her the promise that I was going to come back and finish my education. So that was my motivation to come back and finish.
Yeah, and you can tell, and I know you're watching us on TV, we're just sitting here on this set, but I could tell when you walked in the room, there's something about, I can tell people that's been in the military, and that's a good thing. The way you enter a room and the way you come in and the way you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you treat people, these are things that the military, and a lot of people already know that before they get in there, but if you don't know it, they teach you about that structure and that respect and how to carry yourself. I did not actually know you were in the military but till you walked in and spoke to me. I just finished another show, I think, or about to do another show, but anyway, I could tell you had been you was either in the military or been in the military, or either one. But and to me, that means a lot. Not only to you, but it means a lot to our country. And because of people like you, we enjoy the very freedoms we're enjoying right now. We can sit here and talk about anything we want on TV. Nobody's going to come in and throw us on the back of a truck and go lock us up in prison or whatever, because of men and women like you and before you have fought and defended the United States of America.
Yes, sir.
You got to be proud, don't you?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay,
Am.
come on back to Oconee Fall Line. Then you joined the Rotaract Club.
Yes, sir.
Why'd you do that?
I joined the Rotary because I like the extracurricular activities, like even when I was in high school. So I was always a part of like doing things like that. So when it came to college, it was easier for me to like just transition and like I liked it doing extracurricular. So anything to add to my resume, and that's how it came about.
Okay, and we're watching some video while we talk here of when the Rotaract Club went out to the different schools. We covered all that, and you're watching the video right now. They went out a couple weeks ago. So how was that, going out and greeting fifth graders, talking to them, and giving out this Gifted Hands book?
Well, due to COVID this year, we were unable to go out and meet with the students. But on last year, I met with a lot of the students around in the area, with the county, the city, and the private, and we talked about this book, and we, encouraged the students to go out and read it. Well, upon this year, fast forward this year, the Rotary Club put out an incentive to all the fifth graders in the county that if you read the book and you get a good book report, and the teacher selects the top book report out of each class, then you'll be able to get a $50 certificate from the Rotary Club.
How you beat that?
You can't.
Think about 10 years ago when you graduated. Could you ever imagined that you would have walked and been to the places and done the things that you've done?
Honestly, I know I haven't, honestly.
What did you think when you graduated? What was on your mind? Was you going to go party? What was on, honestly?
Honestly, I wasn't the party type. So I was really focused in school. I was really had my mind triggered on just get my education. I was going to, become something. Well, that didn't turn out the way that it should have been. So I went to the military. Well, I was encouraged to join the military, so I did, and they made me think about going back to school. When I was in there, I was like, do I want to do this for the next however many years or so? So I mapped out. I had a plan. I mapped a plan out for myself. So as time went on, I checked off little goals that I had to do, and then my long-term plan was to come back to college. So I had to wait that plan out, and when I got out of the military, that's when I decided to foresee that.
Last question. Somebody watching us right now may not know what to do, or maybe at a dead-end job, or maybe have lost their job during COVID. Millions of people have lost their job the last year. It's just been a devastating thing that's happened not only in our country, across the world. But what would you say to people watching right now that really don't know what to do, but need to get their life back on track? What would you say to them about Oconee Fall Line Technical College?
I would say if you plan on being a better person, I would join Oconee Fall Line Technical College's family. I mean, it's various programs that are here to put you in place to be successful. The affordable tuition, you graduate with no less than debt. I mean, depending on how far do you get.
I like that part. I mean, really, think about the people that graduate from major universities with literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I mean, and the only thing that, and we had talked off camera about it, but the professors and the instructors already are helping you get a job. So when you leave Oconee Fall Line, not only are you leaving pretty well debt-free, but you're going to work, whether you go to truck driving school, or you're a diesel mechanic, or criminal justice, or like you,
cybersecurity.
Yeah, cybersecurity. Man, what a job! You're guaranteed a job.
Yes.
Because that is, not only is it the now, it's the future.
Yes.
So please, y'all, consider coming to Oconee Fall Line. Just come out, take a tour, talk to the people, and you can take a test. That's what's really good about it. They will test you and show you where you could excel at, because sometimes we don't really know cybersecurity or whatever it might be, but they will help line you up with where you should be. So, and with over 100 degrees, my goodness, I mean, whether it's cosmetology or diesel mechanic, whatever. And starting out making, I know truck driving school, those guys are starting out making $60,000+ a year. Yeah. Where can you do that and not have debt? I mean, come on. I'm going to sign up right now. No. Hey, thank you for talking to me today. I really appreciate it. And it is a good book. If you don't have a fifth grader and you want to read a good book, Gifted Hands, Dr. Ben Carson. Wonderful man of God, a brilliant surgeon, and it won't take you could sit down in one afternoon literally and read this book if you set your mind to it. But regardless of where you at in life, you ought to read this book, Dr. Ben Carson, Gifted Hands. Thank you so much for talking to me today, brother.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break and come back and talk to Miss Janet Smith a little bit more about Rotaract. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. As promised, I have with me Miss Janet Smith. She's been on many times with me, just a dear friend, and you could actually do the show by yourself. I ought to just put you and Emily Rayleigh up here and go on to the house and let y'all handle it. But talking to a fine young man before the break.
Yes,
go ahead and brag on him.
Oh, Antonio's great. He's a wonderful poster child for OFTC because he's smart, he's deserving, he is ambitious.
Yeah.
So what more could you ask for?
Yeah, oh yeah. And I told him, I can always tell when somebody enters a room, and you and I go to a lot of functions together, but one thing, when a man or woman comes in the door, I can tell they've been in the military just by the way they carry themselves. Mm-hmm. We have the best military in the world, and for young men and women to go off and come back like Antonio, and when he come in the door earlier, I was doing another show, and I said, I don't know that kid, but he's been in the military. I mean, and when he come out after that, just spoke to me with just respect.
That's what I say, he's respectful.
I mean, we could go on and on. He wonderful. And I say kid, he is to me. I mean, at my age, I mean, most, they're all kids to me. I mean, I used to think 40 was old. Now 40's a young'un.
Well, I totally agree.
I was hoping you'd agree with me.
Of course.
Rotaract. We've been going out for years, and I know this year it was different because of COVID. Everything's different because of COVID. But why are you involved in Rotaract? Why is that important?
Well, I do all the student government activities at Oconee Fall Line. So naturally, it fell under me to do Rotaract. And I'm not in Rotary, but Gerald is in Rotary, so I have been around Rotary for a long time. So I think they do so many worthwhile things. And then when this came about for us to do this, and I'll have to give Gail Clark a little bit of credit. We were talking about it, and I said, you know, I need something to do for all the fifth graders. She says, that Ben Carson book would be wonderful. And it has been. It's been great. So that's my involvement. And because I am with the students, I get to, that's the fun part of my job. I get to be with all the students. And do
You
this
get
thing.
paid to have fun.
I do. I like my job.
Yeah.
I do.
mean,
I do.
how would you not?
Well,
You're never
exactly.
going to retire.
I know. Yeah.
Unless Gerald says, hey, honey, come on now.
Well, no, he's retired. I think he likes it the way
Oh,
it is.
okay. Yeah, you better work then.
Yeah.
You better work. Well, you gave me a book, I don't know, several years ago. I don't know, a long time ago. And it's an easy read. And I just love Dr. Carson.
I know.
I mean, I don't care. It's nothing to do with politics. I mean, I know he ran for president. I realize that. But it has nothing. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. How do you not like success and someone to pull himself up from the trenches, literally, you know, from poverty, and excel? Anybody, I said it while I go to Antonio, you know, if the mind can conceive it, the body can achieve it. Because if you really want it,
You can do it.
and you've got the work ethic, you can do it. You
Well,
really
and he
can.
had a strong mama too.
Oh, yeah.
You read that in the book.
Oh yeah,
But it took it from him,
Yeah.
from inside, to want to do it and
Yeah.
to want to better himself.
And look at Antonio. This book could be about a young man like Antonio, because to graduate 10 years ago and to be the places he's been,
Amazing.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's and look what he's going to do. Look, he's almost got a triple degree.
I know, and if other people would watch this,
Yeah.
and we hope that they do,
Yeah.
and they can get a lesson from him, is look what you can do.
I know. And one of the things, and we were talking about it, when you graduate from Oconee Fall Line, you don't have these big major debt. You may owe a little bit of money. You know, you may not. You may owe nothing. This is just according to your financial situation, because we got plenty of help out here. The financial director, people like that, and grants, and the foundation.
There's so many opportunities that you can have to come to school.
Yes, and I just finished recently, January, I guess, the tools.
Oh yeah, Tools for Success. Isn't that wonderful?
My goodness, I mean, Mr. Louis, and I've said this many times to you, I know, but you and I both, he was a dear friend of ours,
course.
but when he has been gone 100 years, what he did in this community will still be making a footprint.
I agree.
Look at he told me one time, I said, they were about getting ready to build this place, Heart of Georgia Technical, and I said, Mr. Louis, why do we need a technical school? He said, James, everybody ain't meant to go to college. And we don't want everybody to go to some university like Georgia or Tech or wherever. He said, we need plumbers, and we need diesel mechanics, and we need HVAC people. And, you know,
and he was right.
And truck drivers. And if you don't believe we need truck drivers, look at what's going on out in Texas with that ice storm and all. And they can't get the trucks in there to deliver the goods. And to be able to graduate from Oconee Fall Line and start out making around 60 grand a year, come on.
There's no reason
No.
why you wouldn't do it.
In a 6-month, pretty well a 6-month course.
With CDL.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible.
Well, and you know, we help find them a job. If they're interested, you know, you've got to want
That's
it.
any course.
That
The
is.
instructors have a vested interest in
They do.
those students.
And I'll have to say that the instructors, they're not just instructors.
No.
They also do so much after hours with our students.
Yeah.
You know, they're there for them. They help them in situations that, you know, they don't have anybody else to turn to.
Yeah, and they have the contacts, whether it's the truck driving guy or the diesel mechanic person or the whatever. They've got these contacts, and they're saying, hey, I got this good student. You got to want to hire them. And I remember the girl, I think last year we had it was kind of like a football sign. I've been to a lot of sports signings. Never been to a signing. This girl went to work at Freightliner.
And
Okay, I
Yep.
figured you'd know
Yep.
who it was.
And-
I do so many of them, I couldn't remember. But it was so exciting to be in there, and I got to interview her and talk to her family. And, you know, and I was standing out there filming, and I said, well, you know, I do these all the time for football players and
Right.
basketball players or whatever. But that was more exciting to me to see her going this really good job in Macon
Exactly.
at Freightliner.
And Brent Redfern was her instructor, and Diesel, and that was his idea. He says,
Yeah.
why don't we have a signing? I said, that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
And we should.
Yeah.
Because it's that important.
And we
because
need to do more of them.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Make that happen there, okay?
We will. We'll do that, James. We'll get that done.
Write that down.
That's
It
another
was,
thing.
now that we both agree, it was good.
It was
though.
very good.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah,
certainly
it was exciting too. And I had the Geek Squad, you know, with Best Buy. I like doing business with Best Buy. Matter of fact, the guy asked me and my wife and Warner Robins why we went and bought there. I said, well, we have a distribution center in our county, in Lawrence County, and we feel like we're guaranteeing those jobs, you know, to do business with Best Buy. And I encourage that. We always encourage shopping local. Well, that's shopping local because we've got probably 200 jobs out there, and I want them working.
We certainly do.
And that's why, but they'll come to your house and set everything up. But this guy, they call it the Geek Squad, but they'll come to your house, very professional. And this guy says, I was talking about Oconee Fall Line. I had to do something out here the next day. Yeah. He said, I used to work at Freightliner in Macon, and there was a girl from Oconee Fall Line. He got to telling me the story about her, and I told him about the sign.
Said I was there.
Yeah, I was there when the whole thing happened. But it was exciting to me that here's this guy lives in Macon that had met her, and she really impressed him. He couldn't stop talking about her, but her story started at Oconee Fall Line.
It did.
They may end. Everybody's story may end differently, but it all begins the same way.
And Oconee Fall Line is a great place for so many people to begin. And as I know that you're probably going to say this too, but you know, they can start with dual enrollment, so they can start early on and be into almost a career by the time they are finished with high school.
And it's free.
Why would you not?
I mean, come on. You could have an associate's degree in whatever, nursing, pick it, you know, whatever, welding. When you graduate high school, to me, that dual enrollment is one of the, I wish they'd had it when I was in high school.
I know, it speaks volumes.
It does.
It really does.
And it's free. I don't know if y'all heard that, but it's free. The state pays, somebody pays for it, but the state of Georgia pays for it. But dual enrollment is just, it is a wonderful thing. So, but I met a girl that graduated out here and from West Lawrence the same month, had a nursing degree here, and graduated high school at the same time. And I thought, that is, and then I ran into her at the hospital one day, and I said, I cannot believe you're working out here, Sam. And she said, yeah. She said, you remember? I said, oh, I remember. But it's so good when I go to Fairview for, you know, we're baby boomers, so we have tests to do and different things we have. But when you run into them, I had one recently, Janet, but I had to have a test done, and the woman come in, the nurse, she was real serious. She said, Mr. Deal, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but we've got a student in the other room from Oconee Fall Line, and she was in the ultrasound sonogram program. Thank you. But she said, and if you don't want her to come in, it's fine. I said, bring her in. I do a lot of work out there. Bring her in. I want to meet her. But she can watch anything. If she can learn, and I encourage y'all, if you're watching now, if they ever ask you that at the doctor's office or at the hospital, let those people come in because they got to learn.
And that's a clinical site for them most of the time, and so they need to learn. So when they have graduated, they already have that experience.
That's right. And we can all be a part of it. To me, that's just my little part. All I'm doing is laying there. I mean,
you're helping her get her experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think it's great, and we all work together and do that. So, and I know if you go to the doctor or the hospital for tests or anywhere, you're going to run into a graduate from Oconee Fall Line.
Oh, definitely.
Look at the head of the radiology department at Fairview Park Hospital. He is a graduate right here, Chris Kersey.
Exactly.
Graduated from Oconee Fall Line, and now he heads that whole department for HCA. So, like we said, it all starts here, but your story's going to end somewhere else.
Exactly.
So I think it's great. So
It is.
Well, good. Rotaract. Maybe next year we'll get back like we've been.
I hope so. And did Antonio mention to you about the gift cards? That's,
He did.
Isn't that a great incentive?
And
It's
how
wonderful.
many? I said about 4,000, but how many total books have y'all passed out?
3,500
Okay.
in the 5 years.
Okay.
And you know, you'll go back and older ones will say, well, I've already read that book, or my sister read it, or somebody read it. And then I've run into some parents and they'll say, oh, we already got that book. Ours was a 5th grader a couple of years ago. So it's a great book. And you know, I want to look up Ben Carson's address. I want to send him some information about this.
That would be
Not for
great.
anything other than to let him know how important and how helpful his
That's a
book
good
is.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to do that.
that's a good
But I
idea.
want to thank you, James, because you are always so supportive of Oconee Fall Line Technical College and getting us out there, and you don't get enough thanks, so thank you from Oconee Fall Line. We
Well,
appreciate you.
You know, we do it, and we mentioned Mr. Louie a while ago. Thank you for saying that. But Mr. Louie, 3 days before he passed away, I was at his house, and he told me about the surgery he was going to have,
Yeah.
and he might not make it through it. But if he did, he could live another year, and he did not make
Right.
it through the surgery. But we were sitting on his back in his little Florida room there, and I could tell he was in deep thought. And I said, Mr. Louie, what's going through your mind? And he said, well, you know how soft-spoken and methodical.
Oh, yes.
And he never just said something. He thought about, one thing about Mr. Louie, he'd always tell me the truth, but he would always pause and think about what he wanted to say. And he said, James, and here's a man who is dying. He said, James, we don't have enough kids graduating from high school and going on to the next level. He said, promise me something, son. And I said, yes, sir, whatever you want. And he was my mentor for many years. But he said, don't lose sight of these schools. James, work in them schools. Encourage those kids and help us at Hart. It was Hart, he always called it Hart, Georgia Tech. And I think it still was maybe then. It might have changed over. I don't really remember. But anyway, that was one thing I promised him sitting on his back porch.
And you're doing it.
But you didn't tell Mr. Louie something not doing it.
Exactly.
Whether he's still here or not, I promised him.
He's watching. He's
I
watching.
just wanted to share that story. 'Cause
Well, that's a good story.
I love Mr. Louie and Miss Evelyn and
Of
Lisa
course.
and Claire and
Well,
the
he
whole
was
family.
he was a pillar of the community,
Yes.
and what a great role model for so many people, and so many wonderful things he did for Dublin and Lawrence County.
Yeah, he loved this community. He sure did. Well, thank you. I always enjoy talking with you.
Enjoyed talking to you, and thank you so much for keeping OFTC out there for us. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. If you just joined us on the show today and want to watch it again, we will be airing it again, but you can go to our YouTube channel, TV35 WDIG. We have literally tens of thousands of people a month. The numbers, y'all actually blow my mind when I look at the numbers every week. I actually look at them every day because I track the analytical stuff. But we want to thank all of you for watching. If you have just joined in, go back and watch Antonio, the first of this show, and you'll see a fine young man that I compare to the man in this book right here, because I'm telling you, Antonio is going very far in life. And his story began right here at OFTC. Where's your story going to begin? And where's your story going to end? Go back and watch it on YouTube. Thank y'all so much for joining us today, right here on TV35.